Hello, everybody. Welcome to the newest edition of Medfield People. My guests tonight are people you might be familiar with. This is Laurie, and that is Kathy, and then they will tell you who they are.
I'm Laurie Nealon, and this is Kathleen Cahill, and we are with the Medfield Neighbor Brigade.
And that's why they're here. I never even knew about the Neighbor Brigade till my husband died a month ago. And I'm legally blind, and I had trouble walking the dog with the ice on the sidewalks because I can't see the ice, obviously. Next thing I know, my daughter-in-law calls and said, I've signed you up for the Neighbor Brigade, and there will be a walker coming every morning. And they've been coming every morning until this last weekend. Every single morning. It's amazing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it didn't matter. And it's a marvelous system. So I wanted to get Laurie and Kathleen in to tell me, I know they can't, by rules of privacy, tell too much about who they serve, but you can tell the kind of things you serve and the kind of people that volunteer.
Absolutely.
And then how you got started.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to start with how you got started?
Sure. We actually started back in March in 2010, so that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Happy anniversary.
That's right, right about now. And the way we got started was right around that time, I had been kind of having ideas about trying to connect people. I knew that there were so many people, our friends, and so many people in the town who were willing to volunteer and to do amazing things in helping people. And I also recognized that there were so many needs that weren't being met. So I was trying to figure out a way in which you connect volunteers with people who have needs. And as I was processing this idea, a friend of mine from Medway happened to be chatting with me one night and was telling me about the Medway Angels that she's a part of. And so, immediately I jumped on it and said, wait, tell me about this. So she shared everything that they do in Medway. I was so excited. I looked it up online, looked into the Medway Angels, realized that they actually originated from the Wayland Angels. So contacted the leader of the Wayland Angels, who was Pam Washak, and she got right back to me, and Kathleen and I had a conversation the next day. She was on board, so we created our site on the Lots of Helping Hands, which was the site that we originally started with at the time, and got it up and going, and sent an email to all of our friends or a bunch of people that we knew in Medfield at the time, and we were up and running within 3 days.
It was amazing. We just formed a little letter to our friends with regards to the Angel site, and told them this is what we'd like to start here in Medfield. And it was amazing. Within a week, we had about 100 volunteers, and then word just kept spreading and spreading. And then we got more volunteers through the schools, because we sent a flyer to the schools. Okay. And we reached out to the senior center, and we reached out to other organizations within the town as well. And as of this morning, we have 644 volunteers in Medfield. It's amazing.
Absolutely, it is amazing. Were you two friends before this?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's why I knew exactly who to reach out to do this with me.
Well, how did you make the transition from the Angels to Neighbor Brigade?
So Pam Washak, a little history about her. She had the Wayland Angels up and going, I think it was 2001?
Yes.
She had cancer herself and was overwhelmed by the support that she received, and decided she wanted to start something where she could support other families that were in need. So that was where the original Wayland Angels came from. Soon after we joined on as the Medfield Angels, she had the idea of creating Neighbor Brigade as a nonprofit organization. With the Neighbor Brigade mission was to really help to push this out into every community in New England. So we worked with Pam a lot through her launching of the Neighbor Brigade, which was really amazing to be a part of that as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And probably about a year or 6 months to a year after we launched the Medfield Angels, we then joined under the umbrella of Neighbor Brigade.
Okay.
Because she wanted all of the chapters to be the same, and just to operate under the same rules and guidelines. Mm-hmm. So that's why we went underneath their umbrella of the Neighbor Brigade. So we had to change our name from Medfield Angels to Neighbor Brigade. But what was nice, though, they take care of all of our filing fees, our insurance, and anything they have to file annually as a nonprofit, the Neighbor Brigade takes care of.
So where does that money come from?
So the Neighbor Brigade is actually raising money as the parent organization. They have somebody who is in charge. And it was Pam. Unfortunately, she passed away last year. Her cancer came back in 2010, and she passed away about a year and a half ago. So somebody else has stepped up and taken on that role. So they organize the fundraising. Corporate is a big way to gather the money for that. And it's just really been amazing. So when we created the Medfield Angels, we were the 6th or 7th community that had an Angels network at the time. And now there's
22.
Wow, are there really?
40.
40?
I think it's 40. There are 40 communities that have a Neighbor Brigade up and running. So it's really amazing, the amount of people who are taking this on and the incredible amount of volunteers. Although I have to say Medfield is the most active community, thanks to this incredible community.
It is a great community.
Yes.
Yeah.
And God bless us, I hope it stays that way.
Yes.
Oh, it will.
Yes. It's a really,
I really hope it stays that way.
Yep. It's a precious,
So what
precious
kind of
place to
things
live.
have you done? I mean, dog walking is probably an unusual request for somebody to get.
You weren't the first dog walking request. No, you weren't the first. But we mostly do meals for families going through. Basically, what we do is we help families going through a temporary crisis. And so most of the time it's with meals. Sometimes we'll give rides to doctor's appointments and things like that. Dog walking.
Running errands
shoveling.
for people or
you do
grocery
errands too?
shopping.
Yeah. Yep.
So I could call you up and say, go to Market Basket and get me.
Sure. Send us the list.
Exactly.
Actually, you do all that. I had no idea you do all that. How about
Yeah.
babysitting?
We haven't really done much of the babysitting, but we certainly, one of the things Kathleen and I do a lot of behind the scenes is connecting people. So if there's a family that's going through a temporary crisis, we'll say, okay, what are some other areas that you have needs for? And we'll help them to connect those needs. So sometimes things don't go out on the site, but we take care of other stuff on the side. Yeah. We're also really lucky to be connected with Dawn Alcott and Liz over at Medfield Youth Outreach, which is where a lot of
they do a good job.
They're amazing.
Yes.
They are such a gift to Medfield. They're the social workers for Medfield, as you know, and it's through them that we do hear about a lot of different families that are going through some kind of a temporary crisis. Also, the senior center. Also, the food cupboard as well.
Yeah.
We have some programs that we do yearly with the food cupboard and with Medfield Youth Outreach.
The food cupboard just absolutely amazes me. Beth Eby alone
Fantastic.
is
Yeah.
totally wonderful. I can't imagine how anybody puts in the time she does.
Yes, she's really committed.
And it's terrific. But so are all the other volunteer groups around. It's amazing how many there are.
Yes. Yeah.
Years ago, we had a group called Fish that operated out of Town Hall, and it was basically you were given the name of a few seniors to call.
Yep.
I had 2 seniors to call every other day and then see whether they needed anything. But just mainly, are you still alive? You know, have you fallen down? You know, do you need anything?
Wow.
People who had no family around. And there's a surprising number of people in Medfield who have no family around.
Wow.
Like I'm lucky because I have 3 of my adult children live here.
Right.
And that's very, very fortunate. But
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have that. And that's a big difference in the lives of a lot of seniors, and I'm sure you have benefited them.
We hope so.
We hope so.
You know,
Yeah.
we're always looking to reach out more and more, to helping more and more. And I think the way that we do hear about the needs really is through our volunteers. You know, our volunteers who have someone in their community, in their neighborhood or friend group or whoever who's going through a difficult time. You know, they'll reach out to the friend saying, I'd like to put you on the Neighbor Brigade site for some support, and then they'll contact us. Yeah. So, you know, unfortunately, if we don't hear about a need, we can't help. So the greatest thing that our volunteers do is to keep those connections going. You know,
I like the phone call. Years ago, I was an EMT for 17 years, and we had one call. I won't tell you what street it was on, but a certain person was supposed to contact this man every day and make sure he was okay, and went 3 days without calling him.
Ooh.
And then we got an ambulance call, emergency. The kids finally found out that the man was not being taken care of, and so we went down. He had died a few days before, trying to drag himself on the floor to the phone.
Oh, no.
And that bothered the devil out of me, and that's one reason that I signed up to do these phone calls, because I thought I don't want to see that happen again.
Absolutely.
I wonder if there's a need for that in Medfield, the phone calls again.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
There might be, because we did have a senior that we were supporting in the fall that was not associated with the senior center and didn't have any family around.
See, that's what I'm
and
worried
we
about.
helped with meals for a little while. So yeah, that
Just
that
to call
happens.
and say, Mrs. Jones, how are things today? You know, have
Sure.
you watched the news or in that kind of thing? Just
It's a great
some
idea
contact
to
during the
to
day for
check in.
people that are alone.
Yeah, sure.
Without looking like you're snooping, because we were supposed to be very careful. Don't snoop. Just find
Yes.
out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, make sure they're okay.
Yes.
Right.
And
right.
is there anything I can do for you, kind of thing. But
Sure.
it's basically just an okay, just a wellness check.
Yep.
I know that there is an organization too where teens go and help, especially in the wintertime, with shoveling their walkways and
Yeah.
Community
things-
teens, yeah.
Sure.
which is so fantastic.
They
you
are
know.
wonderful.
Yeah, but certainly if there's any kind of a need that's out there that isn't being serviced, we would love to be able to help out. And again, we have
Absolutely.
unbelievable volunteers on our site who really are the ones that do all the work.
Exactly, they are
We
the
just
ones that do all the
organize
work, and it is truly amazing. And it's amazing to me that one complaint is that you guys, you'll put meals on the site for 6 weeks for a family, and by the time I get home from work or get home from being out, I get on the website and all the meals are filled for the next 6 weeks. And somebody I knew and I wanted to help out, but so then that's a good
problem.
problem to have.
It is a good problem. To have. Do you have more women or more men?
Probably more
more.
women.
Yeah,
but
probably.
there's a lot of men that are on the site as well.
And what kind of, are they more inclined to be drivers or snow shovelers or what?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of times there's so much that this has opened Kathleen and I up to, just having this opportunity to help families who are going through temporary crises, and the incredible love that comes through that we receive as emails from our volunteers. So we have had, I'm just thinking that the men is the one that sparked it for me, but people reaching out, offering what they do as a profession to do for a particular family.
Really?
Absolutely.
So
we
a plumber might come and say, can I?
yeah, a
Yes.
builder might jump in to
Holy
help.
mac, I did not know that.
Yep, we've had ramps built, and we've had roofs built, and we've had landscaping done, and yard cleanup, and things all out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah.
And they do
So-
it generally for a living, and this time they're doing it free.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they totally volunteer their time. Yep.
And they're all Medfield people, I hope.
All Medfield
Yes.
people.
So I want to give thumbs up to the Medfield.
That's right. Hooray for Medfield.
No,
Yes.
I'm proud of the town.
Yes.
I've been very proud of the town, which is one reason why I never want to leave.
Yeah.
Never
That's
want to
great.
leave.
You've
Want
done
to stay
amazing
here.
things here
Want
too,
to stay
Ann.
here. And
Yeah.
just make sure it stays good.
Yes.
Do you have any teenagers involved, or are they more involved in the community teens?
We do actually. There's one of the programs that we do with the food cupboard is to help to send volunteers over for the postal drive that happens in May. It's when everybody puts their bags of groceries out by their mailbox, and then the postal carriers pick up the bags as they deliver mail that day. It's always on a Saturday in May. And a lot of times there's teens who go over to do, to put in some community hours and to unload those grocery bags as the mail cars come in and load up the food cupboard. So that's
Yeah.
one. And they jump in to do different things here and there as well, which
Yeah.
is really great. We love, the support from all age groups.
That was a great one. I remember the food pickup. I thought that was
Yes.
terrific. I really did.
Yeah.
That is great. We had some third and fourth graders, I believe, helping out with meals a few weeks ago. We put a family on the site for meals, and I know that there was a couple of boys groups that went to someone's home and made the meals, prepared the meals with the mother's help.
Oh, I'm sure.
And,
I think
and
that's
delivered
great.
the meals for this family. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be teens. It can be the younger groups too.
Wow.
We'll often hear from Girl Scout troops or Cub Scout troops or just service groups wanting to take a meal on for a particular family, so we'll make sure that they're signed up for the day that works for them. We also do put out to our volunteers request for breads for typically it's the Thanksgiving, December holiday, and Easter distribution for the food cupboard. So a lot of times a service group will take 12 breads. Usually we're asking for about 50 loaves, so they'll sign themselves up for 12, and that group will bake for that. So yeah, it's wonderful because again, you can involve all ages, in the different service opportunities that come up.
Because I've been a member of the home committee for years.
Yes.
Don't even
Yeah.
remember how long.
Yeah, yeah.
But one time we had one of my friends called, and he said he thinks something was wrong. He gave the name of a family. He said his grandson came home from school and was worried about this child who seemed so happy to get to school because it was warm. And my friend said, you know, it just seemed funny for a kid to say, oh, it's warm in here.
Yeah.
So he asked me if I could check on it.
Yeah.
We checked on it. They had not had heat in that house for months.
Oh,
They had no money, so we took care of that. And
Good.
I'm so glad we never told the people where it came from,
Yeah,
where the
sure.
name came
Yeah,
from,
yeah,
because it's nobody's business where it came
that's
from.
right.
Absolutely.
And I did call the man back, my friend, and said, we've taken care of something for you, but we didn't go
Right.
into any particulars.
Yeah.
But it's
great.
nice to know that people can do it anonymously. Now, can they
Yes.
contact you anonymously and say,
Yes.
Mr. Smith fell down and broke his leg, he needs help?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
And their name
Yeah.
is never released.
That's absolutely.
That's the way it should
Absolutely.
be.
Yeah.
We've done that a
absolutely.
number of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will also occasionally call us and say, okay, I've got this. I want to make a donation to a particular family or a something, and Kathleen and I will often suggest, you know what, if you want to go buy some grocery gift cards to Roach Brothers or to Shaw's or wherever, drop them off at this address in their mailbox, stick them in anonymously. It would be really, greatly appreciated, because we are aware of some of the needs that are in our community.
Yep.
Continuously, even after
Yeah.
we're done supporting them through meals or whatever. So
Sure.
yeah, and
I like the anonymous.
there are so many people who do that, which is great. We also work with Medfield Youth Outreach and do a birthday wishes program 3 times a year. So this people can sign up for, and it's anonymous child, so it'd be like boy age 12, and this is what they would like. So sponsoring a child, and then everything gets dropped off to the 2 of us. We bring it over to Medfield Youth Outreach, and then they distribute it for the birthday. They give the gift to the parents. They can then give it to their child, so that the money they would have used towards getting a gift for their child, they can then put into
Milk and bread.
into essentials. Exactly.
you're right.
Exactly. So, so there's lots of
Lots happening
Yeah.
with Neighbor Brigade.
No, I know a lot of people think that people in Medfield don't need anything because everybody, quote, is so rich or so comfortable in Medfield, and I do know there are some families that are not.
It's very
Yeah.
much that's very much the case. I know it is. It's
Well, rich or poor, it doesn't matter, because everybody eventually, well, hopefully not eventually, but sometimes will have to go through a temporary crisis. So it doesn't, we service everybody and anybody who needs help during certain times in their life. So
right, and we typically don't do financial. I mean, we really don't do
Yeah,
much with the
not
financial
too
need, because
much.
there's no money exchange.
Absolutely,
There's no money
right.
involved in any of this. It's all our time as volunteer, our volunteers' time as volunteer. So there isn't really the financial piece. If somebody does come to us with a significant financial need, we always have the point person that
Pass
we
it on, sure.
pass it
Yes.
on them on to, so that we don't leave somebody just hanging. But yeah, it is it's amazing. People are. I know we are often surprised by the number of families that are in difficult situations here
Yeah,
in Medfield.
But it's amazing. But just to meet all those dog walkers. One woman even came in with one little boy one time, and then she brought her other son the next time. It was great.
That is
It was really
great.
great.
Yeah, that is
because now I
great.
know some of these people that I would never have known.
That's
Sure,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
And they came in some horrible weather with all the ice all over the sidewalks, and it was, and they were still doing it. They still came.
Good.
That
Good.
never backed out. I never had one cancel out on me.
That's wonderful.
That was so good, because usually by late afternoon the ice was soft enough that I could see it or
Yeah.
could walk around it. But
Yeah.
in the morning when it's freshly frozen
It was
and
tough.
you can't see well, you're not
Right.
too sure where that ice is.
Yeah.
And
Right,
right.
it was a wonderful service.
Good.
Right.
Good.
But it means a lot to me because the dog is my company now. So
That's right.
So that's really very nice.
Yeah. Good.
Do you have any
Right.
funny volunteers? You must have somebody that's funny.
I mean, we definitely have. It's
than you two.
I know it's so unusual. That is so funny. I'm trying to think of. We've definitely had some unusual requests, but
Oh, can you say what they are?
probably not on television.
Okay.
Our husbands, we often will call and say, "Okay, you get to go deal with this one." Send them off to do a duty here or there, but yeah, no, it's really great to be, involved in this organization. We had no idea when we started this what this was going to be. Most communities that have some kind of a neighbor brigade are probably averaging around 100 volunteers, and so we were going to be excited if we got 100 people to be on our site with us. And so when we hit 100 in that first week, we were, wow,
Amazing.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
It
And
is
then
amazing.
it's just
Really
grown
nice.
and grown.
So it's did people find about you by word of mouth or their website or how?
Right. So what we've tried to really reach out. We reached out to all the schools when we first got started, to the police and fire, to home committee, to this council on aging, Medfield Youth Outreach, the different churches. I'm sure I'm missing something. And then each September we put back in the schools a kind of a
flyer, just a welcome, welcome back
Thursday
flyer,
packets.
and Neighbor Brigade is, still here. So if
Yeah.
you'd like to sign up and with a little bit of information about what we do. But mostly, I think now we get volunteers through a recipient, a family that's going through a temporary crisis, and a friend of theirs who is not an angel as of yet, who wants to sign up to bring a meal or to sign up to help.
Or to walk a dog.
Then they'll sign up to become an angel so that they can bring a meal to their friend and their family. So now it's 'cause pretty much I think our name is out there, and a lot. We have, like I said, over 600 volunteers, which I think is really amazing.
You had mentioned when we were talking earlier about insurance. Now, what kind of insurance do people have if one of your volunteers falls or?
Right, so that's all under the Neighbor Brigade Incorporated, which is our parent organization. We are a chapter of the Neighbor Brigade. So I don't know specifically which kind of insurance, but all I know is that if there was a situation, if our volunteer was to get injured or whatever, that things would be covered. So that's,
That's a good thing for people to know.
It is.
I think it's a very good thing for people to know.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's another reason why we went under the Neighbor Brigade umbrella, so we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Right.
And what was your website?
It's neighborbrigade.org.
Oh, so it's all of them, together.
All of them together is the website, and then from there you go to under town. You find Medfield. Click on Medfield, and if you are not yet a member, then there's a kind of a questionnaire that you fill out online, and then it comes to us. We check you in, and then you're up and going.
Wow.
So we about a year ago, the tech person who works for Neighbor Brigade created Neighbor Brigade's own site. So now, or their own tool that we use. So instead of the Lots of Helping Hands site, we're now on a Neighbor Brigade site, a tool. So it looks a little bit different than it did before. So
Great. Now, how long have you two lived here in Medfield?
I've lived here about 15 years.
Okay, where do you live? Kat?
On Penobscot Street.
On Penobscot, okay.
Yep, and we've been here for 8 years, and we're up on Copperwood. So it works out well. We're on opposite ends of the town.
You certainly are. I was gonna say,
So when people need to drop things off, they, depending on where they are or where they're traveling that day, we've got one end of town to the other.
And you both have kids?
So we do.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I have an 8th grader and a 6th grader.
And I have 3 girls, an 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 3rd grader.
Wow.
So so we're.
And that gives you a whole new set of contacts. So I'm amazed that people
sure.
still meet today, or they still contact with today, who I met through my kids.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just being a Girl Scout leader, which I was, but but the kids that would come home. I live near 2 of the schools, so they would walk home with Susie or Bill or whoever and go in the kitchen and call their parent, can I stay at Thompson's house?
Yeah.
And that's how I met so many people.
Yeah.
And you're meeting so many people through this.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful way to meet people.
It is amazing. It is amazing. And so many incredible people who come to us with ideas that they have of things that they want to do, so that we kind of help to connect them to the right channel, and off they go. So there's been so many other amazing projects that have been started. Not because of us, certainly, but they'll say, I have this idea, and we'll say, yay, go do it.
Ideas are good.
Exactly. One idea that actually won amazing supports that have reached out to us, one is the Lions Club, which I know you are an active member in, which is wonderful. And John Carey from the Lions Club reached out to us a couple of years ago, wanting to kind of partner with us and wondering, how they could support us. And so because we don't deal with financial need, one idea that came up was when we put a family on the site, we then contact John and let him know about the family situation and need and some ideas for gift cards, and then he goes to the house and delivers a care package with some wonderful goodies for the family, especially for the children, and it just really shows, it's just another way for that family to recognize and to realize how much Medfield is supporting them at that time.
Yes, it's fabulous. He just takes care of it. We just tell him, this is the family, this is the ages of the children, and he just goes and puts together a gift package, and off he goes and delivers it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's good because I know at the home committee, when I could still drive, which I couldn't until a few years ago, I would deliver packages at Christmas time, and they would be people that did have need. And I delivered the poinsettia plants, earlier in the season for people that had something sad going on in their lives. But then came the Christmas packages. And one year, the list I had, 3 of the people were fine for me to deliver, but the other 4 I knew. And I didn't want to walk in there with this stuff and have them know that I knew.
Yeah.
Sure.
So my old friend Clarence Purvis, who was a selectman with me, was coming up to stay with us. We were all going to a wedding. So poor Clarence arrives in the house, and I said, "Do you know any of these people?" He said, "I never heard of them." I said, "Get in the car."
Here's the address. Go deliver them.
And he did. But I thought that's so much better than having
Yeah.
somebody that they know.
Yes.
I thought it was a great way to do it. So Clarence will never let me forget it.
Yeah.
I get emails all the time. "You got any other things for me to deliver?"
That's so funny. That
But I
is
think there's
great.
something nice about that.
Yeah, there's a wonderful
Yeah.
organization that 2 of our good friends, Nikki Gustafson and Jeannie McKenzie, started up with, which is Christmas Angels.
Christmas Angels is.
And
yeah.
so they do something similar to that, and they work with Dawn and Liz at Medfield Youth Outreach, and receive the names completely anonymous. It's anonymous to them. It's anonymous to
it should
everybody.
be.
Yep. And then they put an email out to people who have supported, the Christmas Angels in the past, and people are then able to purchase gifts. They know the ages of the children and the wish list of the children, and they put together an incredible Christmas, really.
That's great for
for
people
many
that need it.
families right here in Medfield.
I can't imagine anything
Yeah.
sadder than Christmas coming and not being able to buy the doll or the truck or whatever it happens to be that your
For
child
Yep.
is dreaming of getting. That would be so sad. Christmas
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
horrible.
Yes.
Christmas isn't about money, but it's about giving a gift, and if you don't have the money to buy the gift for your child, it would be very,
Sure.
very sad.
Right.
No, Jeannie and Nikki do a fabulous job with that program. It's
Yeah.
every year. It's amazing.
I think they had like 50 families this year.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, all right here in Medfield.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
See, and that's when people are surprised when they find out there is a need like that
Sure.
in Medfield.
Yeah.
And there were more. I know that there were more. That there were some that were on the Angel Tree at the library. I know the home committee covered some. And that's just the families. Those are the people with children. That's not singles or couples.
Sure.
They're seniors. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. So what are you guys going in from here? What do you do? What do you do next?
What do we do next?
Well,
You're going to run for selectman, or?
Oh gosh, no. We could never follow in your footsteps again.
Yes, you could. Do you have any plans for anything else on this line that you would like to do?
in terms of Neighbor Brigade,
In terms of anything, general public service.
I mean, the two of us. The two of us come from from leading other kinds of things like this and real interest in other things like this. So I know that we will be shown
Same.
whatever the next road is
Yeah.
that we are
Yes.
that we need to be doing, and
see what happens.
exactly.
I bet it'll be a
just
good
love
road.
it.
I bet it will. I'm so proud of you too.
Oh, thank
I really
you.
am, for all your volunteers.
The
Yeah,
volunteers are
the
amazing.
volunteers that are incredible.
Yeah,
But they
that's
need
why this is-
coordinators, and there you are.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
the easy job.
Yeah, we do. We have the
We
easy
have
job.
this
We
beautiful
just
job of putting it on the site and then seeing all these amazing people step forward to fill it, and to just feel the gratitude and
You can come walk my dog if you
make
want.
it down.
There's no more ice on the sidewalks.
That's right, that's
There
right.
might be tomorrow. I'm thinking of the weather.
I hope not. We're ready for
I
spring.
hope not too. Thank you so much for watching Medfield People, our latest version, and thank you so much for Laurie and Kathleen for coming here today and taking the time to come. And I hope you'll all learn from their experiences and their service to the community, and join them or join some other group that does something to benefit everybody else in the world, and see what you can do to make the world and Medfield a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for this opportunity to be here and to chat about this as well.
Oh, it's good.
And anyone who is not currently a volunteer that would like to, please check out the website at neighborbrigade.org. And we look forward to even more volunteers. And most importantly, if there is a need that's out there, please reach out to us. And you could do that again through neighborbrigade.org. And take a look. Being an active angel is about really searching the community, and when there's a need that you see or a family that you can reach out and help to make that connection.
That's great.
So, thank you.